offensively with our force and our pace, got down the floor quickly, made quick decisions, didn't allow their physicality to disrupt us offensively, and then defensively, incredible job by all of our guys, holding them to 40% from the field and 29 from three. So, solid effort on both ends of the floor.
JD always brings the energy for you.
Yeah.
You've said before, he's a guy that'll lace him up every night, if at all possible. How important was he tonight? And do you see a different energy out of him when he has the ball in his hands?
He was fantastic. And he and Sengun kind of have that matchup going, and Sengun has got the best of us, especially last game. So JV was really locked in and focused on just doing what it took to win the game, and he had big play after big play, especially in that second half.
I mean, in the fourth quarter, I think he had 14 going into the fourth. You guys played through him a lot. Did you just see like, all right, he's kind of got a rhythm. We should really play through him here?
Yeah, it was one of those games where it's not broke, don't fix it. Throw it to JV, throw it to the big fella, and let him settle us down. And then he creates offense. He's getting a shot for himself, for a teammate, or he's going to the free throw line.
On nights when Zion isn't going to be in the lineup, does that change your approach going into the game of like, we just know we can get JV some more post touches in this game? Does it change that at all?
Yeah, it kind of forces us to do it, to throw the ball more to JV to create some offense for us. But, when Zion's on the floor, he didn't get as many touches down there, and rightfully so. Zion's occupying that space. But tonight, we had him on the floor with mostly perimeter guys that can shoot and space the floor, and it allows him space and opportunity, and he took advantage of it.
You guys had a really difficult January schedule. You finished the month 8-7. What's just your evaluation of getting through these 15 games and that 8-7 record?
Yeah, like you said, we knew we had a tough month ahead of us. We still got a few tough games coming up, but it's really a credit to our staff and our players for continuing to just stick with it and continuing to put in the extra work when no one's looking. And, we'll take it. With all the tough teams that we had, we'll take 8-7. Now, we know we could have been better, and we'll try to continue to improve. But, like you said, it's good to come out of this month with a winning record.
The game was close entering the fourth quarter. Then y'all opened it with like a 15-0 run. What was the key to y'all being able to really pull away there?
That group that was in the game, they did a great job of getting stops. It was Najee, Jose, Jordan Hawkins, JV, might have been Dyson or Trey was with that group, and they did a fantastic job getting stops defensively, finishing the possessions with rebounds. And then one of the concepts that we continue to talk about is don't lose your pace, don't lose your force. So whenever they rebound, they was getting the ball down the floor quickly, and we were getting open looks or throwing it to the post to Jonas, and he got us going.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of talked about the pace. It was steady, it was balanced.
Yeah.
And was that contrived for you guys, or just went with the flow like you said?
We think it can help us moving forward. When we're looking at the tape and film in the fourth quarters, that's an area that we can improve. We start to slow down. We don't go through our execution with enough force. So we have to continue to be forceful offensively, get in the sets, get the ball down quickly. If it's misses, try to get early, easy opportunities. And tonight it was more balanced.
You guys put the game away on that Trey Murphy 3 there. Just what do you think of Trey stepping into the starting lineup and the minutes he gave y'all? He
was great on both ends of the floor. He competed. And I love the fact that, and he reminded me of this, that he got 6 rebounds tonight. So it's something that we're talking about more and more with our wings and guards doing a better job of rebounding from that position. And Trey had a huge a part in that tonight. Thank you.
All right, for all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report, a victorious episode of PPR final. Guess what? The Pelicans get the dub. They knock off the Rockets 110-99. Man, we up in this thing. Please feel free to hit the like button. By all means, feel free to hit the subscribe button and share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing. We got Lex and myself chiming in tonight. Pelicans finished the month of January 8-7. And man, tonight a much better effort against the Houston club. They were able to scratch out a win. Houston, up to this point, we're beating the Pelicans in the series. Now it's 2-1. We still got one more game remaining. That's coming up in February on the 22nd. So we'll be looking out for that one. So shout out to you guys. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share. We up in this thing recapping, baby. So the Pelicans 27-21 on the season. Lex, welcome on into the broadcast. Pelicans get the dub tonight against a Houston team. They gutted it out. They actually used Valanciunas tonight against this team. I wonder whether his performance was at the game before, and they finally got it going. So just round of applause for Coach Willie. How about that? Go ahead, Coach Willie. There you go, Lex. Round of applause for Willie. Not bad tonight, Lex. Let's hear your thoughts.
We back in the win column. Much needed win. I did agree with Tramal. It was a good win. I think the team they did good enough to get the win. But I mean, it's there's definitely still more, because obviously, the Rockets are, they're number 9 right now. But we're back in the win column, and this was after going up against a lot of juggernauts as far top seeds in the East and West. It's just a much needed win. I do like the fact, like you said, Big Q, that they went to JV, and not only did they go to JV, but they kept going to JV. A lot of
Lex, no self-sabotage tonight. They kept using them. They didn't pull them out.
Yeah.
Went all the way through. Got the W. How about that?
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's like the first of, I don't know that other number, but you know what I'm saying? You love to see it. I said before, the inside game is the bread and butter of this team. We have 2 skilled guys in Jonas and Zion that really give, a lot of problems in the paint when we go to them on a regular. So obviously Zion was out tonight, but JV really against the Rockets, these are JV's type. These are his type of games. Because really, I mean, when you think even from last season, when we went to him for the first 3 quarters and then we went away from him, we ended up losing. But he eats against the Rockets, and that's what he did on tonight. So I'm so glad that they kept going to him. And I listened to their analysts, and they were saying, man, we can't do nothing with that dude. I mean, it's like, boards, the rebounding was beautiful. I like the fact that, everybody, I mean, it was like what, 56 boards. Yeah, I mean, I always say, like, those are possessions. Those are extra possessions, and extra possessions lead to more opportunities. So, I mean, this was a good win. JV did his thing. They kept going to him. It was working. Willie even used the quote I was using, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So he really took that to the max in this game. So, pleased with the win. Glad we're back in the win column. Still got a lot of work to do, though.
Indeed, we close out, like you said, 8-7 was the record for the month of January, that was a very tough month, man. We faced off a lot of teams, a lot of questions answered early on, so a lot of work. You're definitely right on that, Lex. Let's hit some team statistics before we jump into the individuals. Pelicans 50% shooting tonight from the field for the Pels, 41 of 82. They were 11 of 34 from downtown for 32.4%, 71% from the foul line tonight, 17 of 24. They finished with, like you said, 56 rebounds by the Pelicans, 12 of which were offensive. They did have only 20 assists in the matchup, but outside of that, missing Herb, missing Zion, they still put on a hell of a performance. Pelicans a deep team, man. 16 turnovers tonight. That's a lot by the Pels. They did have the fast break battle lost, though, but look at the points in the paint. The Pelicans really dominated because of Vel and others. So 50 points by the Pelicans against 36 by Houston. They just overwhelmed the Rockets club there, and Sangoon just was not nearly as effective as he was in the first matchup. The Pelicans went at him using Big V and completely just knocked him off center. When Vale attacked him offensively, made him play defense, you could see it wore him out offensively. He was missing layups at the rim, everything. It just wasn't going for him tonight. Pelicans a well-rounded effort individually speaking from some of our best players. 25 from Vale with 14 rebounds. He was big in this matchup in 33 minutes of action. BI finished with 24 points in 36 minutes. He also had a double-double, 24 and 10 from BI with 2 blocks in the matchup. He did, however, have 6 turnovers, but, it was still a solid effort. 19 points from CJ McCollum in 36 minutes of action. He finished with 5 rebounds and 3 assists for him. He also had a couple of blocks. He was doing his thing, man, knowing when to attack. Those 3 had it going on. Trey still kind of coming out of some rough shooting, but he did hit three-pointers tonight, 3 of 10 from downtown. He finished with 13 points, 16 boards from him. And we talk about guys that really had a great effort tonight. And of course, Vale with the plus 13 on the plus minus, plus 8 by Najee, plus 17 for Jayhawk. Just 3 points for him tonight. But Najee Marshall was fantastic in this game, man. He came in and did so many really solid things for the Pelicans. Even though he had 10 points, he finished with 31 minutes, 10 points, 7 boards, 2 assists. And he was in there just doing a lot of great things, man, for them tonight to help the Pelicans kind of separate and get this win. He was very solid in this game. So, Lex, feel free to touch on some of these stats that I just went over.
Let's see here. I mean, obviously, JV did his thing. He had a double double. Wow. And BI, he had a double double too. No, wait a second. Okay. All right, I was looking at it wrong. Okay. But yeah, I think it was pretty solid. I know Nance, he didn't really contribute, from a points perspective, but I mean, this was JV's game, so I don't really have a problem with that because we know what Nance brings to the team. Marshall really had a night off the bench, which was really good, but shoot, we had the 3 guys that did play out of the 4, they all scored. But yeah, I mean, it was a total team effort. I think, everybody pretty much contributed. I mean, Dyson, I'm glad he was looking for his shot compared to other games. Because obviously he got up attempts and he made some shots. So really happy for him there that he found that he can attempt a shot in the game again. But yeah, I mean, it was collective as far as the effort. Like I said before, JV had a heck of a night. I mean, this was definitely his night. He opened up a lot of doors for the perimeter. And, that really helps out a lot when, something is working and we continue to go to it. Where'd you go, Big Q? Hello? Oh, wow. All right. Well, guess Big Q's not on here no more. He got booted out. But let's see. I'm not seeing anything right now. I gotta make some adjustments, y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. Uh-oh. Hold on, we having some technical difficulties here.
All right, sorry about that, fam. We had a little issue with the computer. Lex, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, sorry about that, man. I don't know what happened. Just had a shutdown, but we back in effect. But did you feel free to? Did you finish your thought? I won't cut you off.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I finished, and then everything kind of went haywire there.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Well, listen, let me tell you something, man. It's much better effort. We often talk about the Pelicans and needing to have better efforts, like against this team. We needed to beat the Houston Rockets, man. We were losing these games. We had these 3 tough losses. We didn't need to go into Houston and lose this matchup against them. And the Pelicans went down there, minus Zion and Herb, and they got the W, man. I'm very happy and pleased about that. Now, the next matchup the Pelicans have to face off against is a team that's currently on the 2-game losing streak. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. And we'll face off with the San Antonio Spurs of all teams. And man, the Pelicans can get on a quick little winning streak right here. Lex, on the second, as we take on the San Antonio bumbling ass Spurs, man. You can see the matchup indicator has us completely demolishing the Spurs right now. And of course, yeah, I'm taking shots at Tasha and Sean. That's they
Yeah, I was I was about to say, like, where Tasha? Where Tasha and what's his name again? I forget his name.
yeah, her husband Sean. Yeah, man, they Spurs.
Okay. I get.
Yeah, they always kind of give us a little tease every now and again about it. But this team is not a very good team here, but they have a lot of talent here, man, and we can't take them lightly easy. We have to smack them down and knock them around. So Lex, what you think about what we need to do to take care of business against the San Antonio Spurs?
Uh, Definitely play with energy. Like I always say, I know the Spurs have been losing and all that stuff, but just want to put that to the side because this Pelicans team needs to work on some things. All right. So definitely don't want to play down to the competition or play like, hey, we don't have to go in here and work hard, go through the motions, all that good stuff. We need to play like we're trying to accomplish something. Like we have a goal in mind. Obviously, the Spurs, they don't have a goal in mind. I mean, they're developing their young players, developing Wembenyama. But for this Pels team, we need to look at this. Look, this is another game where we can get better as a team and trying to polish and finding the identity. Try to build some consistency in playing at a high level. And that's how I look at this game. We just need to continue to play better. Um, One game back in the win column, that's great. But it's like, what are we gonna do from here on out with these next few games? It's just the mentality has to be right. Because I don't know about everybody in the chat, but I honestly do not want this team to be a play-in team. Right now, I think we're still in the AC, Big Q.
Yeah, let me pull up the no, actually 7th right now, Lex.
Okay, so I guess after this one, we hold on a different page. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's still like playing contention. It'd be nice to like be for sure, for sure be in that top 6. You know, and I mean it's all about the expectations. Um, I know I mentioned like it's one game and they played okay and everything, but I don't think this is one of them games like you want to jump up and down about. It's like, yes, good. Y'all were supposed to win. Let's grow from this. and that's actually a good thing. So it's all about where our expectations are for the team. And I think we can all agree we want the team to be a playoff team. So if we want to be that type of team, be up there with the in the like the upper teams, the teams that we just faced and convincingly got wins against us, then we got to step it up. We don't just want to settle, for a win against the Rockets, which the Rockets, they're what, number 9. So we just we got to continue to get better and find our identity, because that's still in the cards. But yeah, we got to have the right mentality against this team. Go in here, show the defensive prowess, the offensive prowess, uh, the chemistry, to improve upon that and get this win. But it's definitely the mentality. I think this game right here is more so about the Pelicans and less about the Spurs. Like, how are we going to approach this game?
Yeah, surviving the month of January. It's not exactly the record I wanted, but it is a winning record, 8-7 out of January. Some tough basketball matching up with the Rockets, and then one more road contest against the lowly Spurs club in the cellar in the West. Like I said, this still the NBA. Any team could beat you if you don't bring it that night. And the Pelicans really need to close out the road trip with a good win off against the Spurs. They currently are leading the series 2-0 to nothing. It'll be good to just sweep them out. The last game is in April the 5th, to be honest with you. So anyway, Western Conference standings as it looks, family, right now currently, you see what the T-Wolves, Thunder, Clippers, Nuggets, Kings, Suns, and Pelicans in the 7th spot. And then it's the Mavericks, Lakers, and Jazz that rounds out the top 10. So indeed,
Oh, okay.
Lexxah, you're absolutely right. We don't want to be in the play-in. We want to be in the play. We don't need to have nothing to do with the play-in. We need to make sure this team is good enough, and they got to get their stuff together and get inside that top 5, man. So if you look at some of these games, the Pelicans are really just one game in terms of just if you
Yeah,
look at the Kings
it's
and
close.
Suns, it's very close.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be straddling the fence like that, man. Because really, what's been happening is the Mavs, the Pels, the Suns, and the Kings. Those 4 teams have just been shuffling the cards. There's just been switching in those prospective places. I think the Lakers, they've been in the same spot where they've been, but yeah, between the Mavs, the Pels, Suns, and Kings, all those teams have been shuffling between 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah,
We
you're right.
we got to break away. We got to break. And the Suns weren't even in the picture at first because they were trying to find themselves. Well, they've actually done that, and they've been playing well of late. So, we don't we got to break away, upward, trending upward, not downward. So, I always like to keep things in perspective, and that's the biggest thing is like, what is the Pels? What are we trying to do? We trying to be a playing team, a borderline playing team, or top 6 seed, top 4 seed, and whatever your expectation is, that's how, you got to look at it. So,
Indeed, if you look at a couple of these games, like you mentioned, the teams outside of the Suns who are of the last 10 games is the standings show. They were 8-2 of the last 10. Pelicans and Mavericks 4 of 6. Lakers, Jazz 5 of 5. The Kings have been 5 of 5 of the last 10 games. So this will be a good time for the Pelicans to kind of pick up their play, man, and their effort as we get closer to the trade deadline, and then of course ultimately the All-Star break, and then coming out of the All-Star break and preparing for the rest of the season, getting ready to make a strong push. So all of this time, all of these reps mean something to our squad. And of course, let's cover before we leave the stream, fam. Y'all hit the like button for me. Let's talk about a little trade breakdown, a little trade information for the family members. And this is from Windhurst that was shared by another person on Twitter. Pelicans have sniffed around some potential trades for a center upgrade utilizing Jonas, his expiring contract, and some draft capital. That's Wendy Windhurst. And also the Pelicans might be willing to trade Dyson Daniels in the right package. So that's something right there that Windhurst is talking about for the Pels going forward. So like we talked about, we ultimately mentioned now, and Lex, I know where you stand at here about Jonas playing himself into to the contract. But like I said, it was a gift and a curse at the same time, because one, even though Jonas has been fantastic, like tonight, he was the key ingredient why the Pelicans were able to beat the Rockets. Pelicans could have won the previous matchup had they employed the strategy and stuck with it. A lot of times the coach is getting away. Sometimes the effort's not there on the court. We got to be able to mesh it all together. But as we get closer and closer to February to the 8th, remember tomorrow is the 1st of the month. We're getting very, very close to that trade deadline, and there has been nothing, on the street, word on the street, there is nothing in terms of the Pelicans negotiating to keep Valanciunas. Everything that is coming out is the Pelicans are imploring or looking at trades of rim protecting centers. There was an article that came out that eventually the Pelicans would be looking at a point guard. That's something different, but priority one is they've been sniffing around for rim protecting centers, and you've seen most of the guys that they like. So this is just something just to let the family members know. Of course, there are some moves that's going to come. I mean, it's getting down to the situation like when Najee Marshall played well tonight, and I was like, man, we know we have EJ Liddell on a pretty much an inexpensive deal. But boy, Najee Marshall, man, he's, imagine not having him tonight and his effort and some of these games and how Najee plays and what he can bring when eventually we do get into the playoffs, his defense, his versatility, when his shot is falling, his attack, right? He's fearless. When you need somebody to go to the cup, regardless of what's going on, Najee gets there. And I often joke about Najee leading the NBA and falling on his ass. Cause I mean, he'll get knocked down, get back up, go to the line, hit the foul shot. He's just fantastic. So, I mean, I often think about with his deal coming up, man, I was like, man, damn, you can't pay everybody, but goodness gracious, man, we got quite a few really good ballers for us, man. So let's talk about this right quick. Lex, thoughts on the Valanciunas rumor mill?
Let me say this. I think when you think about just big men, especially specifically with big men, I mean, you can say the same thing with any other position, but it's going to be a huge opportunity cost. It really is. If we get a shot blocking big, we're going to lose the skill part. We're going to lose the shooting part. Jonas, he does shoot from behind the arc. A lot of the bigs that they're naming, they don't do that. Now they are more athletic, whereas Jonas is not. Their agility, their lateral movements are better. They're just a whole lot quicker. But and they run the floor better. But I don't know. I mean, Jonas doesn't run the floor bad. He's actually pretty solid. And I don't know intimately as far as the health of the other bigs, but one thing that we cannot deny is that Jonas Valanciunas, that man is available, people. Okay? And we all know the strength of or the power of being available, to just be there. Because without Jonas being out there in a lot of these games, we would have had absolutely no chance. So, that's one thing that I really like about Jonas is that he has been available. and he's been there. He's been there, but definitely it's going to be an opportunity cost. I still would like to keep Jonas, and I think it's kind of crazy because the year that we finally start using him correctly is the year that all right, it's time to trade him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, how come we couldn't use him when he was well within his contract and we knew he was going to be here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that kind of stinks, in that regard. But it's going to be an opportunity cost for sure. Um, we'll definitely have to see if whatever big they do get, how they're going to fit, how the spacing on the floor is going to be, because I know everybody has been talking about the spacing on the floor. Well, if you get a shot blocking big, someone who doesn't shoot behind the arc or have a 15 or 20 footer like Jonas does, where do you think they're going to be? They're going to be down in the paint.
Yep.
So that's also clogging up that space. I mean, it's just, you got to think about those things. Like when you say, hey, let's trade Jonas, what are we really saying? So but
mean,
I really like his skill, man. I mean, the as far as big men, and I've said this before, we see a lot of skilled big men from overseas. They are taking over the NBA. If you don't believe me, well, I'll name them: Embiid, Jokic, Şengün. He's like considered the baby Jokic, if you want to believe that. Giannis. These guys are like really pounding it, and just showing they're up there. Those are the top guys in the league right now. So it's all about the opportunity cost. Like, what are we willing to really give up? And then how whatever we choose, is that really a step up or a step down?
right. That's so true, Lex. But like I said, from what I'm hearing on it is we know he makes over $15 million, and the Pelicans, like I just like you said, and we were saying this for some time now about Valanciunas, is that they just started learning how to use him properly. Times when he was cooking early on, they would go away from him. It was just kind of head scratching how they were underutilizing them. Now that they're utilizing them correctly, I'm thinking in my head, did they figure out the key how to use Val? Or they just doing this to up his trade value so they can see if they can get some more?
Probably Big
That's
Q.
what I'm thinking about.
Because it's really something how all of a sudden they discovered how to use him.
Yeah.
The year that he's up for trade rumors and things like that, or trade discussions.
Yeah. I didn't want to be a bit of a negative side, but like, man, this is a part of just upping his value so they can get him on up out of here. Because like I said, there's nothing in terms of them keeping him, and from my knowledge, I think he played himself into should be an extension, but he wants the proper amount of money. He's averaging 14 and 10. And like you made mention of, he's available. He's there. Like I said, some of these other guys, you're absolutely right. The guys that they're looking at, they don't shoot that three ball. They don't have nothing to do with that.
And I don't know how available they are. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that information. If anybody has, I mean, please put that in the chat, because I mean, I personally don't know, but Jonas has been available for this team.
Yeah, he has. I know for a fact that Gafford, who is the Washington center that the Pelicans were looking, had some rumors circulating around with him that he damn sure don't shoot the 3-pointer. He don't even have an attempt on shooting a three. So that's not what some of these guys do. I know Jarrett. I know he's not nothing. He's not a 3-point shooting big either. So I mean, a lot of these guys don't do what Jonas does, and that's going to be the trade off. I mean, you're going to get and like I said, Val is a some people say top 5, and he's definitely that, a top 10, top 5 big in the game. He's super skilled, shoots outside, inside, and he might not be the most athletic guy in the game, but you can't deny he's probably one of the highest effort guys that we have out there. Despite the
Yeah.
fact that he's slow, he still tries to run, and in many cases, even though a lot of his fellow teammates are more athletic than him, I mean, from an effort standpoint, he runs the floor. He's in great shape. Bell's in great shape. He's just
And he
not.
does well getting rebounds too, man. I don't know how many times we talked about rebounds.
Mhm.
Valanciunas, man, he gets rebounds. Some of those other guys, and because he's a walking double-double.
He is
I
14.
don't know how
15 and 10.
consistent guys, those other guys are getting rebounds, but we know for sure Jonas is a walking double-double, hands
Numbers
down.
could be a lot better too. Like we talk about the underutilization aspect of it too.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
some of these games, like we were matching up against smaller teams, like against the Celtics, that should have been the Pelicans all
Yeah.
night right there.
Bread
He
and
did.
butter.
That's what if you would have utilized the Jonas option, I think you would have got that game against them. But
They
ultimately,
couldn't do nothing with them.
right. So I mean, we went away from it, and that's that self-sabotage thing. But anyway, tonight the Pelicans did get the W. They handled the business, they improved. Let me get the stats on screen. Well, the standings for the family members once again to get show them exactly where we're located now in the Western Conference standing. Pelicans are currently 7th in the Western Conference race. There, as you can see, a half a game back of Suns and a full game back of the Sacramento Kings. Next matchup, the stinking Spurs. Let's hope the Pelicans can take care of business about them and keep on moving it. Then, of course, once that's happening, the Pelicans do return back to the city for a home matchup against the Toronto Raptors. So anyway, that's what we got. That's all we got tonight on this version of the Pelican Post Game Report. I'd like to give a special shout out to all the family members, the flock, the faithful, man, for chiming in on this episode. And listen,
Appreciate y'all.
y'all feel free to please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed, man. We will return. I think it's on the 2nd. Pelicans will be back for the final of the little road trip that they're currently under. And we're now out of January, family, into February. Of course, the trade deadline are several days away. The All-Star break is it's damn near this. And then after we get through all that, then we get down to the nitty-gritty with the rest of the season and the push that need to happen. So a lot of stuff is going to happen in the first week of it. We'll see who's going to be here, who's going to get traded, what are the Pelicans going to do to kind of construct and put this team together for this current playoff run after the All-Star break. So we'll get a glimpse of it. We've been talking about it for the last several weeks, but we'll finally see what happens in the next several days of what the Pelicans going to do. Is V a part of the future, or perhaps somebody else? Man, I don't know. I'm getting a bad feeling about B being here, man. I'm just going to be honest with you on that, Lex. I'm getting a bad feeling about V. I think it might be trade.
It's been picking up here of late. I did want to point out something the DB was saying is mentioned free throws too. A lot of those big men, I don't think they really shoot free throws well, whereas Valanciunas shoots free throws very well. And I know how serious you are talking about hitting those free throws,
Oh
Big
my
Q.
goodness.
So we got that coming too. If we trade Jonas, free throws are going down, people. That's what that means.
Indeed. And Lex, the speaker, you talking facts to the highest degree because he shoots almost 81%.
Hey, you can't be mad about
The
that.
regular season, 81% for his career. He's 79% flat, but he shoots almost 81% from the foul line for the Pelicans. So you can only imagine when we get a
Opportunity costs people.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Not gonna get that.
They're gonna throw all that out the window for a
Yeah.
switch it all big that protects the rim. That's what they're looking at. So yeah, opportunity costs indeed, Lex. That is true. That is definitely true. So anyway, with that being said, we're gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate all y'all for chiming in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll pop back up on the 2nd as we recap the Pelicans matchup against the San Antonio Spurs. So much love to the family. We're gonna holler at y'all.
Hey, BQ.
Go ahead, Lex.
Jay Black was saying Dyson and Hawk made the Rising Stars too.
Oh, cool. Okay.
For the All-Star weekend.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Jay Black. Yeah, you know what? And Hawk, man,
He
that,
definitely
that's
deserves it.
yes, indeed, man, and that's big, man. Dice defense has been pretty good, but his offensive game has not been very good. Although I did like the little what he had, the little floater
Yeah.
inside inside the lane. He's been hesitant to shoot the three ball. I wonder if his coach Fred's been working with Dyson Daniels on shooting his three. You know, he worked with Lonzo Ball and formulating his shot. He worked with several other players. He's helped Herb Jones hit his shots, hit that three, form that three, and get confident shooting that three while he's wide open. I wonder if he's working with Dyson Daniels as much as he's working with those guys, man. If Dyson, man, his offensive game, man, has improved than what it was last year, and that wasn't saying much because last year was kind of, but this year here, man, let me tell you, he had a wide open attempt, and that son of a gun, he pulled it down. He cycled the ball to him, and he didn't even think about shooting. He just drove it. I was like, damn, bro. That's no confidence in that 3-point shot at all, man. He got to get working on that, man.
Yeah. He need a little bit of Jayhawk up in him.
Yeah, he
Jayhawk
got
got plenty
shooters.
of confidence.
Right. He got Hawk, he got Trey. I mean, he got shooters around him. A CJ, he got guys around him that can kind of help him out with that, man. That'll be a really good part of Dyson's game, man. He got his defense, and if he can learn to hit that 3-point shot, that would definitely open up a lot of things, man. That would definitely help out the offense. But anyway, with that being said, we're gonna check.
You're listening to the Pelicans Post Game Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the